Good morning, good afternoon, or good night, and welcome to Command Power, the show in which we discuss all things Magic the Gathering with a focus on Commander. And today we have another episode in our Spoiler Spotlight series in which I talk about, well, spoilers and tell you what my thoughts are on them. But before that, just a quick reminder to click subscribe if you enjoy my videos. We're well on our way to 1 million subscribers and your support means everything to me. And today we're going to be talking about the Second Doctor. For 2 colorless, 1 white and 1 blue, it's a legendary creature, Time Lord Doctor 2/4, with players have no maximum hand size and how civil of you. At the beginning of your end step, each player may draw a card. Each opponent who does can't attack you or permanents you control during their turn. Wow, it's kind of like the designers of this Doctor Who set are reading my mind as to the kind of cards that I love to include in my decks lately. So lately I've been trying to make decks be very interactive and very focused on opponent's choice, and this is one of the ways I've been doing so. With effects that kind of give an opponent a choice about what to do, but they have a consequence if they take that choice. So something like the new Faramir is something that I'm very fond of. Agitator Ant, of course, is a classic version of that. Noble Heritage is very similar to this particular one, but the Second Doctor focuses on a different angle. It gives card draw instead of giving buffs for creatures. Now it triggers on the end step, which I think is an interesting wording. It's usually a little bit worse for you because it means that people are going to use those cards before you do, but since they can't really attack you with creatures if they take the card, then that's pretty nice. You don't really care that much. They might be building their board, but they can't really come at you. It's just a really interesting choice. It's going to make for very interesting gameplay, but people have to balance their desire to get an extra card with the consequence of not being able to attack you. Obviously, there's almost always going to be a correct choice. If they have a huge board and they can kill you, they're not going to take the card. But in the mid and early game, it's not going to be that clear cut. They are probably often going to take the card. And at that point, you're just saving yourself a lot of damage incidentally. A lot of chip damage does happen in Commander one way or another. You're going to be taking damage early game unless you have really good defenses set up, and that damage can occasionally trickle over into the late game and kind of add up. So being able to have this guy just negate that and also guaranteeing that you're also always going to be drawing an extra card with him is very good. Also, giving no maximum hand size is very good if your deck is already built around it, as I assume a lot of decks with this guy in it will be, but it's a minimal downside to give it to your opponents because they might not be equipped to take advantage of that fact. Occasionally they are going to be able to take advantage of it, but if they did, then they probably already had a bunch of these kind of effects in their decks already, so it's not that big of a deal. I just love these kind of effects and cards that make the game really interactive and make people really have to think every time the trigger goes onto the stack. It means that people can't just zone out. They have to be focused on the game, which is a nice thing in games of Commander where it's often easy to get distracted. So this is going to go in a bunch of different decks. It's obviously going to go in my Kinaios and Tiro of Meletis deck that I talked about recently because it fits so perfectly in that deck, but I'm excited to put it in lots of different places, so do let me know what you think about this card. So there you have it. Those have been my thoughts on this new spoiler. What do you think about this card? Please let me know in the comment section below. I read all comments and respond to all of them too. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to click like or subscribe. It really helps the channel. And until next time, take care. Woo!